Good morning, and today we will be talking about angles, getting a little bit of introduction to them. Um, so first of all, we are going to just discuss what an angle is. So an angle is formed by two rays. We know what a ray is. A ray is an endpoint and then it extends out to infinity in one direction. Okay, so we're going to have two of them, but they are going to have a common endpoint. So this endpoint is going to be common to both of them, and that is called a vertex. So let me draw an angle for you. I am going to use my straight edge here, and I am just going to draw a nice big angle. A little bit too far there. I'm going to put my pencil there. I'm just going to put angle like so. Okay, so there is an angle. Now, remember when we name a ray, we have 2 points, and we use both these points to name them. We're going to do the same thing with an angle. We're going to put another point on each of the rays, and we are going to label them. We're just going to give them a name. Each of them, so we're going to say this point is going to be A, this one's going to be C, this one's going to be B. When we name an angle, there are two ways you can name them. You can name them either with 3 letters or 1 letter. If we name them with 3 letters, the vertex is always going in the middle. So we have this little angle sign. It looks like that. And then we name it A, B, C. And the B is the vertex, so that always goes in the middle. Now, we can name it another way too. We can label this angle CAB, or I'm sorry, CBA, with the B being in the middle. Okay. Now, there's another way that you can name an angle, and that is naming it only by its vertex. So you could also name this angle B if you want. That is also correct. But in the future, you'll see that sometimes that's not so clear, and you have to just know the difference when you can use the 1 letter versus using 3 letters. For now, I would highly suggest using the 3 letters because it'll be a lot clearer. All right, so we have 4 types of angles for now. And you may have heard of some of these. So one is an acute angle. An acute angle has to deal, or each of these has to deal with their measure. An angle can have anywhere from 0 to 270 degrees. Okay? We're not going to get some of those really big ones quite yet. So, and we'll get into how to measure angles in a bit. Let's start with the right angle. And I think most of us know what a right angle looks like, even though you may not know that's what it's called. So here is one ray. Now, a right angle forms the side, it looks like this, like a corner of the paper. So if I just move my paper up here, this right here is a right angle. So it is one that forms, and I'm using a lot of words you don't know yet, perpendicular lines. And when we have a right angle, we put a little partial square in the corner. That shows that this is exactly 90 degrees. Okay. So we now have some other ones that, if we have angles that equal 90 degrees, well, we have angles that are less than 90 degrees. So we can have an angle here that is less than 90 degrees. That is called an acute angle. And the way well, I'll get to how I remember that in a bit. And then obtuse. We're going to draw another angle here. An obtuse angle is one that is bigger than 90 degrees. So we have acute and obtuse. Now, acute is small. So we say, isn't that cute? It's acute. So acute is small. Obtuse is big. So it all has to do with in relation to 90 degrees. Then we have one that's called a straight angle. So what it is is here's our point, and if we have a ray going out one side and we have a ray going out the exact opposite. So in other words, if it makes a line, we say that's 180 degrees, that is called a straight angle. Obviously, it makes a straight line. Okay, so we have acute, which is less than 90 degrees. We have right angles, which are exactly 90 degrees. We have obtuse, which is bigger than 90 degrees. And then we have straight, and it is 180 degrees. Now what I will do is show you how to measure angles. Okay, so I'm going to start by just drawing an angle. Okay, I am going to, so I have a nice angle there, and I want to show what the measure of that angle is. So I have my protractor. Now we can see here that the center of this protractor, what we do is we put that right at the vertex. Okay, we put that at the vertex. So and then we line up the edge along the one of the rays, and then where it crosses over the protractor, that is how many degrees it is. So we have to be careful with this particular protractor. We know that this angle is acute, so it has to be less than 90 degrees. So we can start the measuring of on any side. So I am going to do this. I'm going to put my center right on that little mark, line this up, and we see that the degrees are measured here. So it's 0, and here's 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, and then all these little lines here are 1 degree. So this would be 51, 52, 53 degrees. 53 degrees is the measure of that angle. Let's draw another one. Then I'm going to draw this one like that. Okay. So we're going to see the measure of this angle. Now this is an obtuse angle, so we know that it's bigger than 90 degrees. So I am going to line up my middle point right on this vertex, line up this angle, and then I'm going to read this here, 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 70, 100, 110, 20, 30, 40, and it goes 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 146 degrees. Now on some worksheets, some problems, you may get an angle that might look like this. Okay, so you have this angle right here, and then when you try to measure it, the rays don't quite reach the measurings on the protractor. So what you do is you have to extend those lines out. So the way I do it is I take my pencil, I put it right on the vertex, and then I line up my straight edge, and oops, I just messed up a little bit. I extend those rays out. Remember, rays go on into infinity. So I do that. I just kind of extend them out so that I can see where it is. And this one, it looks like it is 80 degrees. Okay. Now this isn't going to be 100% exact. These protractors, will give it to you. So if you're within a degree or so, then I would consider that correct. So those are the types of angles, and it is also how to measure an angle.